While most people are distracted by meme coins, Avalanche has been building a billion-dollar war chest, and the charts are hinting that Avalanche's next big move is closer than you think. And if you missed out on the recent Avalanche pump, then don't worry, because everything is looking towards that's going to happen again, and pretty soon. I'm going to show you why and what to look out for, so next time it does pump, you don't miss out. And importantly, this isn't financial advice. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Very recently, two companies announced they're merging to form Avalanche Trading Co. They plan to go public and buy $1 billion worth of AVAX, with a Nasdaq listing expected in Q1 of 2026 under the ticker AVAT. And when the news broke in late September, the AVAX price spiked almost instantly. This has a lot of people excited, and so if you want to take advantage of that next pump, then the key sort of metric that you want to look at is the RSI, which is the Relative Strength Index. This shows if something is overbought, underbought, or it's healthy. And when the AVAX news broke, the RSI shot up to around 70, which is firmly overbought, meaning buyers just piled in really quickly. Now this never lasts, and after a little mini run like this, there's always a bit of a cooling off period. And that's the stage that we're getting into right now. But this time we're accumulating at a base which is 70% higher than it's been all year, and it's likely to take off again in late October. Why late October? Well, it's because this type of RSI pattern is common in bullish phases like this news that just broke about Avalanche. In fact, it happened to Solana in 2023 and to ETH in 2020 and Cardano in 2021. They all spiked on news, they cooled off, and then they took off again. And so if AVAX follows this, the next move could be big, but obviously nothing is guaranteed. And historically, the better entries for trying to time this right is when the RSI settles back down at about 50 or 60 and then starts to slowly climb again. And you can see here on the chart that the RSI is currently sitting at about 58, and it did peak up at around about 69 or 70. So it is getting back into that sort of healthy range again. And it's really important to watch and not to FOMO in. So if you were here in the last cycle, that you know that FOMO was rampant. It was everywhere, and projects took advantage of this to the detriment of investors. But now, like any cool and calm Vulcan, you should be patient and look at the data before you ape in and, make a logical decision about it if AVAX is something that you want to get into. AVAX won't moon overnight, but with the big money already confirmed to be positioning itself within the Avalanche ecosystem, and with the momentum cooling off, then this is the phase that people are really interested in and they're keeping an eye on. Now, this is crypto, so there are risks involved. And so a word of caution is that this merger hasn't actually been approved yet. This new company, this new entity that wants to get listed, it still needs shareholder and SEC approval, which might take longer than expected. And even though they're building $1 billion treasury, their sort of stated objectives for the utility of the AVAX token is pretty vague. They talk about expanding RWAs, or real world assets tokenization and payments, and validator infrastructure and enterprise partnerships. So there's no detail with any of this, but granted, this is still pretty new, this news. And so, we can expect more news and more details to come, hopefully, in the coming months. So AVAX is definitely one to keep your eye on, and I'm certainly going to be keeping my eye on it too. But I was wondering, how about you? Are you going to keep your eye on it? Do you think it's worth it? Or are you going to skip this cycle and look for something else? I'd really love to know. Please leave a comment, and until next time, I'll see you in the next vid.